Deuteronomy 32. It's time for a song. I know you think this is going to be boring. Anyway, it does involve God's obsession with blood. And after it's done, God will finally do what we've been waiting for multiple books now, and tell Moses it's over. His time has come, almost. Listen, you heavens, and I will speak. Hear, you earth, the words of my mouth. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain on tender plants. I will proclaim the name of the Lord. Oh, praise the greatness of our God. He is the rock. His works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong, upright and just is he. What's the title of this song? Biblical gaslighting? Because God has been murdering people left and right. Stop telling people he's perfect and just and upright. He is cruel and vindictive and demanding. Also, you don't get to nickname yourself The Rock with a capital R. Trademark's already taken. Especially not when you only show up as wisps of smoke or as a cloud. Rocks are hard and sturdy and solid and real. That said, they are also sometimes used as weapons to hurl at people you don't like. So, in that sense, I guess the epithet fits. Keep this in mind as you listen to this deranged song. God wrote the lyrics, and he's telling them to Moses, who's going to relay them to the Israelites. But at no point does God ever say, hey God, these lyrics are messed up. Maybe you need to tone it down a bit. He just goes along with it because his boss said so. And that, my friends, is why everyone who worked in the Trump administration was complicit. They are corrupt and not his children. To their shame, they are a warped and crooked generation. Is this the way you repay the Lord, you foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father, your creator, who made you and formed you? Remember the days of old. Consider the generations long past. Ask your father, and he will tell you. Your elders, and they will explain to you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided all mankind, he set up boundaries for the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob, his allotted inheritance. This isn't a song. This is a lecture you give to bad children. This is just my dad over the dinner table. If they sang this song at a concert, the crowd would riot. God's not evil, the song says. You are, you ungrateful heathens. Also, you can't invite people to a concert and then just recite the liner notes. We expect the artist to have done the work. We want the best possible version of this message, not the raw data. Someone needs to edit this. Anyway, God, tell us more about your property, Jacob. In a desert land he found him, in a barren and howling waste. He shielded him and cared for him. He guarded him as the apple of his eye, like an eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, that spreads its wings to catch them and carries them aloft. The Lord alone led him. No foreign god was with him. He made him ride on the heights of the land and fed him with the fruits of the fields. He nourished him with honey from the rock and with oil from the flinty crag, with curds and milk from herd and flock, and with fattened lambs and goats, with choice rams of Bashan and the finest kernels of wheat. You drank the foaming blood of the grape. The foaming blood of the grape. Honey from the rock. Oil from the flinty crag. It is one thing to use poetic license, but this is just bad writing. It's bad science too, because eagles do not usually carry their young on their wings. As for the rest of it, I feel like we're just hearing a recipe book set to song, with very unappealing ingredients. Jeshurun grew fat and kicked. Filled with food, they became heavy and sleek. They abandoned the God who made them and rejected the rock, their savior. They made him jealous with their foreign gods and angered him with their detestable idols. They sacrificed to false gods, which are not God, gods they had not known, gods that recently appeared, gods your ancestors did not fear. You deserted the rock who fathered you. You forgot the God who gave you birth. Jeshurun is a word that means Israel. The song is just calling the Israelites ungrateful and wicked for choosing other gods instead of the one true God, even though this God has been playing mind games with them for decades. No golden calf has ever done as much damage as this God has. God also calls them fat, which is just unnecessary. I mean, why is God body shaming people? The Lord saw this and rejected them because he was angered by his sons and daughters. I will hide my face from them, he said, and see what their end will be, for they are a perverse generation, children who are unfaithful. They made me jealous by what is no God and angered me with their worthless idols. I will make them envious by those who are not a people. I will make them angry by a nation that has no understanding. For a fire will be kindled by my wrath, one that burns down to the realm of the dead below. It will devour the earth and its harvests and set afire the foundations of the mountains. I'm hiding because they're disobedient, not because I don't exist. Sure, why not? This God is admitting he's jealous and angry and vengeful and can't control his emotions. Meanwhile, conservative Christians think women are incapable of leading churches. Also, God is a dragon who will set fire to the base of the mountain because he can't handle rejection. Swipe left quickly. I will heap calamities on them and spend my arrows against them. I will send wasting famine against them, consuming pestilence and deadly plague. I will send against them the fangs of wild beasts, the venom of vipers that glide in the dust. In the street, the sword will make them childless. In their homes, terror will reign. The young men and young women will perish, the infants and those with gray hair. I said I would scatter them and erase their name from human memory, but I dreaded the taunt of the enemy, lest the adversary misunderstand and say, "Our hand has triumphed. The Lord has not done all this." So, to summarize, God plans to torture his people with famine, plagues, wild animals, snakes, murdering their babies, killing people young and old. But maybe he won't, because he's worried his enemies will want to take credit. And God wants his reputation as a baby murderer to remain intact, because that's the legacy he wants to leave behind, because God is pro-life. This is the God Christians voluntarily worship. They are a nation without sense. There is no discernment in them. If only they were wise and would understand this and discern what their end will be. How could one man chase 1,000, or two put 10,000 to flight unless their rock had sold them, unless the Lord had given them up? For their rock is not like our rock, as even our enemies concede. Their vine comes from the vine of Sodom and from the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are filled with poison and their clusters with bitterness. Their wine is the venom of serpents, the deadly poison of cobras. Yeah, enemies of God, why won't you admit you picked the wrong team when you keep losing and your wine tastes bad? Why won't you switch sides and obey the God who kills everyone who doubts him and sends plagues upon his people out of love? Have I not kept this in reserve and sealed it in my vaults? It is mine to avenge. I will repay. In due time their foot will slip. Their day of disaster is near and their doom rushes upon them. The Lord will vindicate his people and relent concerning his servants when he sees their strength is gone and no one is left, slave or free. He will say, "Now where are their gods, the rock they took refuge in, the gods who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up to help you. Let them give you shelter." So God's gonna kill them and then mock them. Where are your gods now, enemies? Let them help you. Oh, what's that? They're not here? Too bad. This God is such a jerk. Does anyone remember that this is supposed to be a song? Because these lyrics are horrible. See now that I myself am he. There is no God besides me. I put to death and I bring to life. I have wounded and I will heal, and no one can deliver out of my hand. I lift my hand to heaven and solemnly swear, as surely as I live forever, When I sharpen my flashing sword and my hand grasps it in judgment, I will take vengeance on my adversaries and repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, while my sword devours flesh, the blood of the slain and the captives, the heads of the enemy leaders. Rejoice, you nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will take vengeance on his people and make atonement for his land and people. In case you were wondering how many people God had to murder before everyone would believe he's God, the answer is all of them. He needs to murder everyone in order to get one tribe to admit he's powerful. And then, just to top it off, God says he'll get revenge on his enemies and soak his arrows in blood. He's drunk with blood. His sword loves flesh. And we are supposed to celebrate this, because the murder king is the good guy in this story. Moses came with Joshua, son of Nun, and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people. When Moses finished reciting all these words to all Israel, he said to them, "Take to heart all the words I have solemnly declared to you this day, so that you may command your children to obey carefully all the words of this law. They are not just idle words for you, they are your life. By them you will live long in the land you are crossing the Jordan to possess." Yeah, buddy, I'll just whistle that one while I'm working. Thanks for teaching us that song in Sunday school. I think the point is clear. We're all going to be tortured unless we memorize and take to heart this song written by a dude whose bloodlust is off the charts. If I told you that Satanists sang this song at their meetings, you know there are Christians who would point to it and say, "See, I told you they were evil." And yet, on that same day, the Lord told Moses, "Go up into the Abarim range to Mount Nebo in Moab, across from Jericho, and view Canaan, the land I am giving the Israelites as their own possession. There, on the mountain that you have climbed, you will die, and be gathered to your people, just as your brother Aaron died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people. This is because both of you broke faith with me in the presence of the Israelites at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the desert of Zin, and because you did not uphold my holiness among the Israelites. Therefore, you will see the land only from a distance. You will not enter the land I am giving to the people of Israel." That is cold-hearted. Hey Moses, thanks for passing along my insane long message. Now, please go to the top of the mountain, get a good view, and then I'm gonna kill you. Somehow, because that one time you were trying to help your people get water and you disobeyed me. We knew all of this was gonna happen many, many chapters ago. This has been the longest literary tangent ever. We are so close. Moses is almost gone. The final song in the musical has been sung. It was horrible and off-key, and the lyrics read like a villain who reveals his master plan before starting the death trap and then running away. If this were a movie, Moses would find a way to escape. But this is the Bible. And in the Bible, the bad guys always win.